Hello, everybody. We are here for the grand final. We've got Paige and we've got Eric. So it'll be interesting to see what the opening choices are here, because in Paige's earlier game today, she opened with Tengen and two 5/5 points. So really anything can happen. Do you have any predictions, Telegraph?
Um, I don't know exactly yet. Paige has uh, 2 lives remaining, and Eric has only 1 for these grand finals. So if Paige wins, she wins. But if Eric wins, he has to win again after that to properly win the tournament. Between the two of them, their values, Paige choosing courage and Eric choosing honesty. I think Eric has played pretty honest Go today, honestly. More honest than yesterday, and I think it's led him to some good positions into some good games. Uh, Paige, I actually haven't, I think, really seen her be courageous yet. I don't know whether she's gone out and done something absolutely crazy.
I
Maybe
mean,
once again, it'll be whichever one has more of their virtue wins the game, wins the tournament.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think Tengen, followed by two 5/5 points, is a little bit courageous. I don't know.
Sure, sure.
But I'm predicting that we're going to see another silly, goofy beginning to this game. I think maybe Tengen's been used a lot, but I think we've got a high percentage chance that Paige, or I wonder who, yeah, Paige is black. I think I'm guessing we don't have Gamba, but I'm going to put my Gamba points on Tengen once again.
Hmm. I don't know if Tengen is a very good strategy against Eric, honestly. I uh I would expect it to be maybe more standard stuff. I don't know. Double 2-2 is exactly the kind of standard that I was thinking. Good suggestion by Goshi Frenchie. But yeah, we have 2 3 4s from Page, and maybe from now it'll be the double 2-2. Nope. Oh, unlucky. Standard. This opening was literally called the Orthodox opening, the one that Page has chosen. Except, I mean, it's a little different nowadays. Uh, more AI fun, like large knight, another 3/4, that sort of stuff. But we used to play the same concept where you have a Shamari that faces, a Shamari is just enclosure, a corner enclosure that faces your other stone in the opening. This is a very old concept of an opening to just try to build a Moyo right away and uh, challenge your opponent right away and then win right away. Easy. Easy clap.
Yeah. Wow. I guess this is the final, so maybe no silly openings. I guess Paige is gonna take it all the way serious. Maybe just trying to lay it down this game, win. With If Paige were to win this game, she would have never lost this whole tournament, which would be very impressive. So
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. We have an attach in the upper right here. So first we had the lean, and then some players would have cuts like this. We saw this earlier, the two-space low pincer into the pushing cut after this. Paige chose not to do that and instead to play here, which against Eric I think is a good choice. You never know what he's gonna throw at you if you go for a crazy fight in the opening. Um, and I think Paige was saying in the Twitch chat earlier that she wanted to play Eric rather than Tangi or Tangjae, sorry, Jay, because she thought she could control the game against Eric. And so far, this is a very controlled game from Black. You know, the original uh, choice in the opening was that you're going to build some big area on the right, and then Eric was like, "I'm not going to let you build the area." He jumped in like really aggressively, started leaning things, and Paige has just sort of allowed that and taken some territories and some corners and been calm. So far this is very controlled and not special from
yeah,
from
not
both
only
players.
was Eric like, no, you're not gonna get this area, but in fact, all of it is mine almost. Well, I guess probably we're gonna see a jump out maybe from this stone. But yeah.
Yeah. So we have Paige just jumping out and jumping again here. This one is always a pretty awkward one because when White answers that cut playing at Q4, Black's corner is pretty nice that you get to play at R3. It breaks the possible tiger's mouth. Wow, excuse me. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, this breaks the tiger's mouth from weight. And in general, after this, you would prefer that weight stone to be here. This would put more pressure on the black corner and expand white's possible space. So usually this is considered a slightly good shape for black if they can get it. But white managed to make something nice on the upper right side already, so he's okay with that. He leans here, inviting a cut, and Paige just jumps and Eric will fix it. The reason why Paige will not cut like this right away is that she still has another group right there, and like, it's right there. So this could be pretty dangerous if Eric suddenly starts doing something like this or peep or whatever. So Black just fixed her group first, and then Eric had to fix his cut afterwards. Anyway, it's not particularly amazing shape for White, not particularly amazing shape for Black. It's just a game.
Yeah, it's kind of all these one space jumps working together. Honestly, it looks kind of strong now. Could we even say that black group is strong? Maybe it can be run out a little more, but it seems pretty strong.
It started to get some like area right in the center, some idea of a base, some eye space. Even if it gets surrounded, it probably wouldn't die anymore. So Paige has switched to playing instead a little bit on the bottom side with this peep, asking Eric how he wants to handle that one. And Eric just connects, very calm, very patient. I definitely wouldn't have been that calm, actually. To be honest, I'm not that patient. I will play this time this move one time, allowing black to like maybe cut later, but get a little bit more power in the center. And if black answers, then when I answer here, I think that the black became a bit heavier, white got a little bit further out. So in general, I like to play to not answer peeps and try to gain in the important areas if I can. But it's okay. It's okay to answer. White is definitely just solid there, and black. Um, she didn't want to directly make a fight where she has a group on the bottom and then runs this white group out to then attack her other group there. So she's just gonna approach from the outside and let white take the bottom if he wants.
Yeah, we've got some clunky looking shapes on the right side. Kind
Yeah.
of kind of interesting. So I guess the move before this approach was the peep, right? Uh, so I guess there's no plan for that stone immediately, but I guess my question would be, what's the point of the peep if there's no immediate follow up?
Ah. Usually, you would expect your opponent to do something like I said. This is the better move. If they just play like this, you can be like, haha, you're small. Bye. Like basically the peep loses value once they connect, right? So it's not like you really lose value when you peep and they connect if it's a cut that you would never actually take in any other way ever, right? There's no way that uh, black was really going to use this cut some other way than peeping. Peeping was always going to be the method that we used it. So she asked right away to see if black or to see if white was going to fight against it, and when Wait doesn't fight against it, I mean, Wait sort of fought against it one time to make the Hane exchange in the corner. That doesn't actually count, in my opinion. Um, after that happened, this black move is confirmed that she got it. And it was very possible for Wait to say, no, you can't get that. I'm going to get the whole bottom and swallow it all. But when it's confirmed that she got it, she doesn't have to save it or anything. It just means any move over here already has that little bit of help guaranteed. So it's sort of like maximizing the use. Like the worst thing that could happen to this cutting point is that Wei would have to connect. She manages to accomplish that. It can't be bad. Same thing with this cut on the outside here. The worst thing that could happen to that one is that Wei would just have to connect passively, and she managed that. So these peeps, Tangje is saying he doesn't like them because it makes Wei too thick, but Wei was already that thick in my opinion, and black the stones aren't very useful, but you wouldn't have been able to use those cuts in any other amusing ways anyway. White was already very thick there.
Ah,
Okay, so she just took a base on the left side. You know that Joseki, right?
yeah. Oh, This is like probably the first Joseki I ever learned, honestly.
Yes, is the bread and butter of us in the West.
Ah, and here
Um,
we go. So yeah, you said that peeping stones aren't doing much, but that implies they're doing maybe a little bit. So here I feel like this is sort of has a connection with that peeping stone. This move here.
yeah, there's some connection there. I honestly think it's a bit too early for Black to do something like this. It looks a little bit, um, I don't know, eager. The amount of territory that she's breaking when she plays like this is pretty small. And really, what it does is it just starts a fight. It's like I broke the territory, and what you get from that is a chance to attack my weak group on the bottom. Um, that attack will usually be more beneficial than the amount of territory that Black broke. That's my judgment call, just like an instinct. But I think a lot of people share that instinct, and probably even Paige shares that instinct. But she wanted to start something at some point, and there's nowhere else to really go that's that fun. If there was like another empty corner, I don't think we'd see H4. We'd see the some move in the corner. But she's like, I don't really want to play anything there. I don't want to play anything there. I don't want to play anything there. Whatever. I'll just go invade this area and make something happen. So she knows what to do.
So yeah, I guess for white here, if I were white, I don't know. I just considered maybe jumping at f6 or just attaching to the stone just played. It feels maybe just g3. I don't know. These are my thoughts, but g3 maybe feels slow.
Those are all very like direct attacks on this Black. And usually, if you attack directly and they defend directly, the defender gains. Um, because the attacker, like, there's no way that putting a white stone will affect the Black group's safety more than putting a black stone on the Black group, right? It's just sort of how Go works in general. The black stone will always be there. The white stone, maybe someday Black will run past it or uh, do something that in general makes that white stone less useful. So if I wanted to attack this kind of group, suddenly there's a weak group on my board. I want to combine it with other things. The attack can really work if it becomes a double attack or it becomes a double threat with something else. And I want to pay attention to the other weaknesses on the board primarily as I figure out how to attack. So I'm thinking about moves like leaning on the left side, looking to gain power towards the bottom, thinking about um, leaning on the right side as well, or maybe I can lean this black group towards playing on the right side, somewhere around there. Okay, Eric plays a very defensive move at h3. I can't say I support that. And Paige just
Yeah.
immediately 10 keys. Um, yeah, this is saying like this is Eric saying I think that you were going to steal away my territory, and then that my base would be insecure, and I would be not sure to save my groups. It's sort of like a very um, defensive way to play. Like first about White's weakness and then about Black's weakness. Normally you don't see that kind of stuff from Eric. Normally he's always about first about the opponent's weakness and then about his weakness. And in this case, I think that's the correct way to play because Black is so much weaker.
Yeah. Chatter saying Eric 5Q, kind of doing the move that I kind of wanted to do. Yeah. uh,
Anyway, Paige immediately Tanikiing is very respectable. I think she realized. So like when Black does this one, or sorry, when White does this one, Black has an obvious move here, where if Black cuts, there is a ladder, and this looks very tempting. It seems like even if White surrounds here, you can play like this kind of move, and then Black should be alive, and White should have cutting points on the outside. It looks like it's a good variation for Black, but I think White's plan was actually to do something more like this. And like he was sort of baiting, I think, Black to overcommit and then make it an even bigger group and then kill that. I think this is what the plan was. I don't exactly know. Um, uh, Paige playing like this, it shows that she understands when this kind of exchange happens, just like with the peeps, how the peeps don't need to be saved. This breaking the territory move, it also doesn't need to be saved. Like the idea of it is already done after h3. White has already defended behind. You don't need to continue unless you want to. And if White tries to just capture this from here, it's as if White would try to capture the area on the bottom side without this exchange. Except it actually just helps Black be able to reduce it later. So usually that exchange by itself is already a success if you get something like that. So that's why she left, and then um, Eric tried to continue to build. So what he wants to do is show that he can build like really wide so that this exchange doesn't become a negative, but just like not a positive. And now Paige has triggered this area. I was wondering about this. This seemed like it was good, and so Eric actually was going to play this way. To me, this looks like it's going to be good for Black. Black should be able to save inside. I mean, after this extra power here, it's a little less certain, but it should still be possible.
Man, once again, you've been a bit of a prophet today with some of these move predictions. Although in your variation you had the F3 push, I think. So I guess we just get a slide. I guess
Yeah,
the cuts aren't as prevalent in this variation because we have the added stones, right, at D6 and D8.
all of these moves were like um, stuff to think about. Why D6 and D8 seems odd. Why not D6 and D8? It doesn't seem odd. I don't get why it would seem odd to lean when you're trying to build. I understand it's like a little strange, but in this kind of variation, it can help the fight. I think this is what Eric is going to emphasize on. Yeah, he even makes one more exchange here. Um, can we try to capture when it goes like this? If uh, white plays here, then black can't live directly because there's this ko. But there is a thing where black can try to link up through this area. In this variation, black is connected to the group on the side, so it doesn't matter that they're like locally not alive. If they play this way instead, then there's quite an annoyance for white in the corner, and black makes like a lot of eye space. This should definitely be alive somehow. Surely. Copium, right? Where?
I
Part of it.
guess I guess Go Dave's point is he thinks the D8 and 6 exchange are only good if you get a good resulting fight from it. And I guess
If you just let it live on the inside, I agree that it's strange, but I don't think that was part of Eric's plan. I actually have no idea what Eric's plan was. I would never have attached here in a million years. Like, first of all, you have to somehow convince yourself to not play an attack, and then after that, you have to see G3 and then think that you have a plan, but you don't. Like, I don't get it. It seems clear that black can save this somehow. I guess Eric is thinking now, like he wants to try to kill it. I'm pretty sure that when Eric was playing these, it like he was planning on attacking this black group, but I don't know what happened. Something happened. Something went wrong. Well, he's thinking now, and he's given up on attacking and has pincered the left side. It's not that bad of a move, but I don't like the situation very much for white.
misclicked in his brain. Yeah.
Misclicked in his brain. That's pretty funny.
I mean, I guess there is a bit of a difference. Eric just came off a very intense game with Jay with like time trouble and intensity, and Paige was just relaxing, you know.
Yeah,
So
chilling and watching the stream, just like the
yeah,
rest of you guys. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe Eric could have a little more fatigue, or if you play a long, intense match and then you have another intense match, maybe hallucinate a little more, or make even just one misread can be all the difference, right? So
This connect by Paige looks a little suspicious, like is maybe just a little bit too thick here, a little bit too slow. I'm not entirely sure that we needed to play a move like that when there was still a fight to be had in this area. If I were playing, I will try to save my stone at C14 first, wait for white to try to attack me, or like maybe just continue to run here is also fine. Probably run here is the best to do first. But just playing defensively like this, it means that um, Eric gets the first move in the upper left. He plays just to take his territory there. And at the end of the day, Black just has a bunch of small territories, and White has still some influence, some potential for attack. Is just going to give White a little bit more territory here to get rid of her C14 liability stone.
Hmm. So I guess we're saying these exchanges maybe not the best for whites. How much down would you think white is? It's certainly not GG's yet, not close, right?
No. Um, it's tough to call in this kind of game where you have to judge the power imbalance for how much. I definitely wouldn't say like if I were playing, I wouldn't think of any amount. I would just feel that like white was comfortable, or sorry, that black was comfortable, not white, but nothing special. And like you just have to keep playing the game as if it's even in this kind of thing. Is it? Hmm. White was passive again when he played at B14, right? I think that you can play a little bit for sure. Can we? Okay, I guess we probably can't cut or anything. Maybe this is not possible, just barely. Okay, I guess I understand. I like Black's idea. If Wei is only going to play back here, then I like Black's sort of sacrifice. It's not even a sacrifice of that C14 stone. He can, or she can still save it. Black jumps, caps here.
Yeah, people
Paige
from
is
the
playing the time pressure.
yeah, literally Paige is 20 minutes and which is crazy because that's the max you can have. And Eric under 10 minutes now. So I wonder if this was part of the strat. I think Paige is just a fast player in general, but
Yeah, yeah.
it works out to her advantage that she's a fast player and Eric's a bit slower. So
Yeah. Hmm. Definitely not the time situation he wants to have, though. Under 9 minutes already, and the fight has not started. Not really. I mean, there was something of a fight on the bottom side, but it was ultimately just even, or it seemed even. Black
yeah,
is pressing on the right side too. Ugh, so annoying.
so yeah, I guess if White wants to sort of make a fight here, right? I'm thinking maybe White is the one that wants to make a fight, especially lots of thickness on the bottom side. Maybe how would White go about doing that? Or is that even something White wants? I don't know.
I think you're just supposed to do like you're just supposed to play properly in this sort of position. Like we don't try to start a fight. We don't try to not start a fight. We just try to do the exact best move all the time. And if a fight starts, it better be, in as good a position as possible for you. In this case, what Black emphasized on after she pressed White down on the left side, she is also looking to defend her group in the bottom right by pressing White down over there as well. She's clearly intent not on winning this game by like killing any White group or anything like that, but just by being um, steady and waiting for Eric to do something strange. And Eric has a like it's actually pretty difficult to play this kind of position when your opponent is just waiting for you to do something stupid. It's much easier to do something stupid than you, you might think, especially in the go. So it's actually really hard to figure out how to save this white group properly. And all Black has to do to continue keeping the pressure on is just continue surrounding and allowing you to play another move on your weak group. There's not that many moves there that look very um, appetizing.
Yeah. It seems like maybe Paige is taking on a bit of Eric's virtue herself, just playing all the honest moves, uh, just very solidly. I mean, Black does look quite strong and just solid everywhere, right?
Yep.
So
Sick Willie in the chat says AI has wanted Q7 for a long time. That would definitely be timely now too, then, if it wants it forever. This kind of move, usually when Black answers, it's not that happy. But I imagine that AI was thinking there's gonna be more weaknesses here, and then like some nice way to strike and make it total uh a total move. I guess probably if that was happening before, it was probably happening now. Like you can exchange that. It probably was about attacking this whole black group for some time, but that opportunity is kind of gone now. I don't know. There may still be something there, but for the moment, Eric has suggested or has started by defending his group by pushing. So he wants to break through there and make it so that black doesn't have any clean way to do the surrounding stuff that she wants to do. So he breaks through like that, and black plays this peep looking for a cut. So um, one natural reading, let's say it goes like this, and cut, and here an answer, then the weight shape is split from the center, and it's a bad variation for white. There's many ways to do something different though. Like at this point, we could play here and then play this move for white, and then suddenly I like the variation for white. Actually, usually what you have to do with respect to the reducing stones in this variation is treat them very lightly. So if you end up saving them too directly, usually black can squeeze you. But if you just keep playing on the other side and force black to capture them, usually any capturing effort by black is going to turn out to be countered. So I do not like this move by Eric. This one is the opposite of what I was saying. It does save technically, but the shape you can see is kind of broken for white here. So it feels very comfortable for black, this attack.
And white still needs to keep running, right?
Yep.
So, man, and it feels like black's group maybe at some moment was like attackable, but it feels like as the game goes on, it feels less and less attackable as you know, Paige just keeps adding stones to it. So
Mm-hmm. Conrad says AI is mad at Paige. I should mention that I wanted to play here. I didn't mention it because I thought already what Paige did is good enough, but I don't understand why we wouldn't play here. It looks better. It's too much for white to connect here, and however you like connect this way, I'd rather attack from this side than what Paige is doing. But this is still fine. I'm still even if AI thinks Paige is not attacking the best, it's I think this is still fine for black for sure. She should just be chasing this white group and trying to take this area, and as long as this is still safe, it looks like black will win on points. So white needs to counterattack is what I'm saying. And if there's anything that you can trust Eric Yoder to always do, it's counterattack.
So in my mind, if I were to try to counterattack, I mean the group seems so strong. I don't know if there's any way just to and Eric's group is still a bit weak. Man, it seems hard. Because like you're saying, I would foresee, especially after a move like L16, black building that top side. I would almost want to come in immediately to challenge that. But then obviously the white group is still weak. So yeah, I think Eric's gonna have to. I think it's hard for Eric, right? I think this is a harder position. It's easy. It feels maybe more natural and easy the play for Paige, and it feels like Eric has to be the one that sort of find something, right?
Yeah, I agree. I guess if I'm playing, I'll start with the Q7. Now that Chad has mentioned to me that was the AI move before, it's easier to find. But I like this move because we're asking black whether they want to be heavy on the side there. And it's actually not completely clear that black needs to save that stone at R8 to be strong, right? So if we force black to do that already, then we'll get more resources in the center here to look for cuts. And actually, eventually, I think that there should be some powerful looking cuts. Now that this white group is out this far, it's going to be really difficult if Paige wants to start a liberty race or start to like surround and kill it. Um, it's going to be something. So here in the game, we see Eric has started with this attach. Um, it's also a reasonable way to start, where the natural block is an empty triangle, so you can already like laugh at your opponent a little bit if they make that shape. Haha, empty triangle. And the other shapes that you that you could imagine black making here also have some significant problems. So empty triangle is still actually my intuition. I don't know exactly what Eric plans after that. Here, empty triangle. What would you want to strike at next?
I mean, the move that just naturally comes to me first is just the cut.
Right.
But it seems like, black can just capture the stone. And then from here, it seems that there's no way to truly cut off the black group anywhere. So it
Yeah.
seems like we get stuck. We can, yeah. So if that doesn't work, then maybe a different idea could be just, I don't know. The only other idea comes to my mind is something like M11, just pulling that stone out and saying,
Mm.
like, now the cut would be more serious. Yeah, I don't know.
So you're talking about how we can try to cut in the center here, right? As white. But
Yeah.
I think black is already going to be satisfied with breaking the shape in that area. That should already be enough for black, especially considering that they have this potential sente and can push through. Here, that looks annoying. Uh, I do think that it was possible to think about putting more pressure on from the center like that, though. Like something like that idea where we're thinking about emphasizing the center as we counterattack would be nice. The way that Eric is counterattacking, there's almost no chance to like switch direction and choose another direction than just straight cutting. So I think that Paige is in a good spot in this fighting. It looks hard to continue for White. I'm sure that he was thinking about this move. This is an Eric Eric Yoder move to see. Mm,
Yeah, we did. So for the time settings, we do know that you can set the max time to anything, but we actually have it in the rules that the max time only can go to 20 minutes.
yeah.
Otherwise, Page would be like literally at 30 minutes, which would be very nice. But
So this one, I don't think it really worked at all. There was nothing that I could imagine attacking after this, even though you play that move. Um, I don't think that this attack is very it can be fruitful um, for white. So he chose to start with this move, and Page just ataried him to force him to make a double empty triangle and fixed. So in my opinion, your variation is better than this.
wow, I'll take that.
Yeah, Eric has to cut now, so he's doing something the same kind of counterattacking where we're switching to the outside that like I was talking about. But Paige is showing nicely that other things matter too. She's just gonna take care of this, let those stones go, and as long as she gets very, very nice shape in this area, these stones will become weak again, and it looks like black is doing a good job in this fighting.
Yeah, I mean, black just has more points on the board, right? So black can just simply live, and it's probably pretty good for black, right? And it seems like to me, I don't really see much potential in the center for Eric, right?
Yeah, even if he captures those two stones, I can't imagine it becoming like a really big capture. I would just imagine it being like 5 points or something. So this tiger's mouth is very natural for Paige, and if she gets to play at L6 after this, that could really make the corner group come under attack. So I'm sort of expecting Eric to do some kind of defensive move, and after that, Paige can just run to the center, sacrifice those two stones, and it's a really hard game for White to play. Yeah,
Man,
here's the defensive move. Page will just run out somehow. I'm not sure whether we want to play diagonal or this one. Most of the time, you prefer to extend, but in this case, when you extend, I think Eric will happily try to take the initiative to run out faster with these stones, and then actually black is kind of getting surrounded. So if you diagonal directly, then this way you're definitely going to be the one who's faster into the center. You can use those two stones liberties on the white group to help yourself run out. But this one is the more proper shape. This one is just the sort of mine is the bootleg version where I just am helping myself practically.
man, it's kind of interesting. Paige, I believe, is known for like having a fighting style, or I haven't watched a ton of Paige's games, but it seems like Paige has just been playing very solidly, and I mean, compared to some of the other games we've seen, the fighting hasn't been that crazy, right? So it
Yeah, I
feel
think this is counter Eric Yoder style, in my opinion. This is what she meant when she was saying control the game. Is she's just trying to take all the big places and wait for Eric Yoder's mistakes. And if you do that, then he does show you some mistakes in most of the games that he plays. It's just actually much harder to do than it looks like. To just do everything normal and wait and pose some serious problems as you do that. Like the most important part of this game, in my opinion, was this part where um, Paige suddenly just sort of naturally defending her group gave way to really hard position. I don't think Eric Yoder was expecting it to become that hard. I wasn't expecting it to become that difficult, and it just sort of happened naturally as she spent normal moves, nothing special that Eric could strike back against. But still, he has a hard position, so he has to do something. Some small mistakes. I can't even tell exactly where, but here is it's a clear mistake in my opinion, and then Um, it looks very comfortable for black from here. You can see Wade tried the Q7 idea. Um, that was attempting to make black be heavier in this area so that afterwards there could be some cutting idea in this area. Let's say it goes like this, and well, I have to do it very carefully, don't I? It's maybe even we can just cut on this side and it would already be some kind of gain. So Back completely resisted and did not connect those before first trying to show that those stones are still useful for black and that she can control in the center first. And she does not need to save the stone at R8. She can still reduce from S4, it's just not that big.
yeah, Gojay pointing out, I haven't even looked at the AI evaluation in a while, but the game is apparently quite even according to the AI, which I find is
That
interesting,
would mean
but
that
also
this
the
was actually
time
quite big and that
difference.
our judgments are wrong. Yes. Paige and I both thought that R8 was not that big, but if AI thinks it's even again, then that means that R8 was big. Probably true. Probably true.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Eric down to like 20 seconds. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult to play a strong game for for through the whole middle game with that amount of time. The good news is, because he's captured that stone over there, this whole group is not something you have to worry about nearly as much anymore. And I can show, by the way, if it goes like this and block, then this would capture. But Wei has the answer, and all the time, if that cuts, the capture comes with Liberty. So there's no Liberty issue. That is well connected, no matter what order black tries to handle this. I mean, the only thing that he can really try is like that and saving here, but Wei is cleanly connected on the other group. That's not a target. So that means that this weight area is all quite strong now, and the remaining weaknesses are just the black in the center, that black, and this weight. So all that Eric has to do is very obvious. It's just spend all your moves on that one group in the center and hope to get some counter pressure on the two black groups. So that's what he's done, but he's immediately Haned and allowed a cut. So immediately into complications again, although he has only 20 seconds. Uh, he plays a Sente move here, extending down. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I will mention at one moment last game, Jay had 6 minutes and Eric had like 30 seconds. And then Jay was actually the one that lost on time. So I do think Eric has pretty good time management once he gets low. Even though he is a slower player, he still, I think, finds the accurate moves under time pressure. So we'll
yes.
see.
Yeah, here you can see Eric playing S4. This is because he saw those cuts and things on the other side, and he thought this one is fully connecting me on the right side. That's true. So Wade is now fully connected and very strong on the right side. And he's also hoping that it is going to be Sente on the corner, that he can play if Black ignores S2 and then really try to kill the corner, which I also agree. I think that's serious. So if I'm Black, I'm going to play S3 here and then let White um, play any old move in the center. The challenge, the reason why White played away here is he was thinking about how exactly can those stones be saved? And it's not that easy. Although there's plenty of black weaknesses, there's also some hint of an idea that black will just have it all surrounded. That's why she played the two space jump to begin with. So yeah, Wade has got to figure out how to bust through this containment. Chooses this way. Seems like a good direction.
Hmm. Can black not just cut?
Uh, no. So if black cuts right away, then white has this Atari and this Atari. It's double Atari now.
Oh, I see, I see, I see. Right. The
So
critical
white,
thing is to save those 5 stones, right?
yes. White will save those stones, and if white saves those stones, actually black's center will be in some trouble. So black would be like collapsing in a variation like this. Paige actually has a tricky moment here. She has to keep enough initiative to both make sure that she doesn't collapse on the top side and that this group does not die. So she tries to start with the Hane. It's going to be a sort of conservative attacking because of that, because she knows she has to do a couple things at once here. She's not going to hard commit into like murdering this way. At least I don't think so. If she does, it might be trouble.
Whoa.
And so this move is directly trying to save that group. Um, If Wade answers, I don't believe that black has any direct threat. You know, there's no cut or anything like that. But what it does do is it provides an opportunity for black to try to capture that stone, make an eye, make eyes over there, that sort of stuff. It's a very patient way to try to save this group. It's because she thought she cannot net these two stones. If she tries, then white can push like this both times and then Atari like that and capture this one stone on the outside. So there's no net on those two stones. It doesn't seem like this poke will be Sente. So there's no way to capture those two. So she thought, oh, I have to save my stones by themselves inside. She just made the one Hane first and judged that was enough time for me to try to save myself. And Eric has played here, thickening his outside because he understood that was also still a place that Paige could try to make eyes. So this way, Eric has outlined some territory for himself as he attacks this group. Paige will try to save her group while threatening that territory if possible. They both care about reducing each other still as much as they can, but also primary objective is for black to live. So still, I believe that black needs to spend a move, or else White's push here at A looks to be capturing, as far as I can tell. Although
All right.
maybe it's a little short on liberties. I think it captures.
So yeah. So I guess if black plays some sort of move here to save the group, then Eric potentially just gets Sente and can play anywhere.
Yeah, so if black has to spend another move here, it's definitely very painful. I'm expecting this move, though. I'm expecting that to happen. It's painful because Wait gets the first move in the top side and can try to save his stones while like crushing black somehow. So um, I don't know exactly what the right way to do it is. You have to be careful not to like give black too much on the top or here, so you wouldn't like die there. Maybe it should be like push and cut. But I think this is probably the right way for the game to go. I'm just thinking that after that, if I were black here, I'm going to play like this, something like that.
Sort of sacrifice a few stones, but
Yeah,
become very stable on the top side. I
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. In the game, Paige chose to connect like that to live, which also lives. I think it might be a bit better than mine, um, because of this move by Waite being a little annoying to live against my variation. So Paige read, I think, carefully for this area, finally, and then played that move. And then Eric just cuts here. He was very, very low on time. I'm sure he didn't know exactly what to do. I don't think this cut is. I think it doesn't put enough pressure on black. Black can easily just uh, leave that, in my opinion. There's several ways to play, but like any Atari, just force White to spend more moves in this area looks good. So she played Atari and Tiger's Mouth here. Wow, that's not expected though. I thought it was like Atari in this move, but she was thinking this was good enough. She plays here and tries to take the whole top side and leave that cut. That's also sensible. If white answers again, then black can become thick on the top side. However, probably this one is. Wait. I don't know how. Actually, maybe this one. It's a little awkward.
Whoa.
Eric exchanged Atari one time. Um, I'm not sure that's necessary, and then answered here. And black starts with Hane. She's gonna try to keep the pressure on this whole white group and make her top side as big as possible. But white plays this one. That's crazy. This is too much. Surely that's too much. Is it possible?
Whoa. Yeah, isn't white potentially getting cut here?
Um, well, it looked like black did not want to go for the cut. If black would try to cut, then white can counterattack very hard on those. So there's no chance, I think, to actually execute on something like that at the moment. So black answered this way, but white can play here. And this one I think is really annoying. This is why I was having a hard time deciding the shape to play over there earlier. Is it's really awkward to defend there and then get cut. So she tries to defend on this side, saying that she will outright kill this group if white breaks the top side. That's a very bold statement. Very, very bold. I don't think it can be true. If you try to cut now, this move is Sente trying to live, and if you try to stop me from living, then I play wedge.
Whoa. Chat even suggesting Eric is playing better under low time pressure and Paige playing worse
Yes,
when thinking. So
possibly. It does seem like he's coming back. In the game, he just chose to play here directly, which is sort of doing the same thing, but it lets white do that. So what the trading might have been is you push through here, black Ataris, and then you have to answer. This was what the trading I was thinking about might have been. But I think this is worth it because you get to break the top side. It's bigger than like whether you get captured there. I think this was probably the trading that they were thinking about and that I think uh, they should have done. Um, Instead, Eric saves himself, but it allows black to still save, and now he knows it's Miai whether he connects or whether he makes a second eye. So he tries to go and play the biggest endgame in this area. Wow, this endgame is not that clean though. This is kind of about killing black. At the end of the day, this black will live though. My goodness. If Eric would play here, then black can still live like this. If Eric would play here, then black can still live like that. So it was alive the whole time, but this move basically taking d1 in potential Sente, forcing this still, it just means that the way that um, Eric did this, he managed to fix the potential for black to make more territory there in Sente. I don't actually think that was good endgame. I think that he was supposed to play a more patient way in the endgame there. It was probably better like this. You have to remember that the whole black here is not alive either. So maybe I will just play here. I think it's just the biggest.
it's interesting if you're suggesting we're headed towards endgame. This could I think be very good news for Eric because I believe at this point it seems like he's winning. I don't
Yes,
know
definitely.
exactly how close it is, but endgame is good news for Eric. I think the turning point was the Q7 peep, which was interesting and the push through. So now maybe Paige has to find something. But longer the game goes on here, it's maybe hard to
It's
find anything, right? Because everything's too solid.
Yeah, it's really good news for Eric that he ended the bottom side in Sente and got B10. So it means that he's solid here. So Paige has very little to fight against in that area, and that the black left side shape, it had to spend this move at E9, which is actually very small to play here. Although it fixes some of the black shape, it doesn't mean any territory. So we could push there again, and black is relying on having one eye here and one eye potentially there to be able to save herself. Um, Black is basically hanging on by a thread with her groups there. That means that Wei has even more pressure to put on. So this one is saying that he's gonna try to capture this black if she doesn't respond, which is quite a dangerous way to play, I think, in an end game. I think black may challenge him and say, "Hey, are you really gonna kill me?" That's how I would want to think about it, at least. Play here. I think White's method to kill is like this, or the way that he wants to try to kill. Then I have this one in Sente, I think. White has to respond there. There's something going on in this area where I can threaten to kill the white here, so it has to save itself. And then I can try to make use of the Liberty shortage to make a second eye. Like this, and then if here, then I play this move, and then if here, then I try here, and if on this side, I can make my second eye. So Paige did it. Is that right? Yeah, Paige captured here, challenges White. White plays this move first.
Huh.
Paige is not under severe time trouble, is she? It's only
Yeah.
Eric is under severe time trouble. So Paige did this. She's thinking that she can save her group, and Eric is going to try to kill, because he always does. And I think this may be Paige's chance, as long as she can find the saving sequence, and she finds a saving sequence. Eric did it a different way. This exchange, I think, is worse because it gives Black a more obvious way to make the shortage liberties. But still, here you can see at the end, Black managed to connect. And although White lives, this is a massive loss for White. He tried to kill, and in doing so, he lost some liberties here. He lost a lot of potential territory there, and at the same time, there was a threat here. White was supposed to be able to capture that stone, and he didn't. So this all happened because this one was Eric's dishonesty. I have to say, he wasn't sure whether he could kill. He thought maybe I can. He didn't. He wasn't able to read it closely. I mean, it's partially low time, right? But he didn't have to challenge like that either. He could have just been patient and done this, but he tried to gain just that little one step more without being completely honest that he knew it would work. It didn't work, and he loses the game.
Wow. It's crazy that
Thank you.
you need
Thank you.
honesty all the way through 100%, because that move that supposedly maybe loses him this game came in the last 5% here, which is so hard, such a hard aspect of Go, that you can
Yes. Yes.
play a great game for a couple of 170 moves, and then on move 171, a slight inaccuracy. Man, that's so much pain.
It's very annoying to have to be stable the whole game. It's such a big ask, such a hard task to actually do, but it is what you have to do to play at a very high level. In this game, the continuation here, you can see Eric is now trying a new way of handling this, and it seems maybe it was a blunder back by Paige. How does this work? Is this so this is Black trying to capture an eye on the side. Ah, I see. So there was me eye here. If White does this, then White loses by 1 liberty in the corner. And if this happens, then Black will get an eye with Sente on this area. So then Black will still be able to make a 1 eye versus no eye in the corner and win the game. And Eric, I'm sure, will shortly resign. Uh, just kidding. I'm not sure, but he tries this one. It's got to be the only shot, but I don't think it can work. Maybe there's some hopium still.
Hold.
Hold. Yeah.
Yeah, never count out Eric, right?
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, I guess if Paige really wanted, she could spend 15 minutes on this move.
That she could. It's gonna go like this, and then here there's gonna be a ko at the end. It's a very, very difficult ko for Black, or for White, I mean. But it does seem like there will be a ko like that. Anything I'm missing? I don't think we can play this way, although we'd like to, because actually the White shape is too short of liberties to connect and kill. It's 1 eye versus no eye. So we have in the game, we've seen it this far, and Eric is thinking he actually has a minute, so he can spend some time to be sure that he should play at A17, or what is the alternative that he's thinking about? I don't know.
I mean, if there's a ko, maybe there's a way.
I think I see what he's thinking about. He's thinking here, like this. Normally, this is crazy, and you would never You would never play this move, but in this case, it exists. In this case, there's an Atari back and black can save, so there's no ko. I bet that that's going to be the game variation. Wait, what? No? Black connected here. This is the game. Never mind. There is a potential ko. Oh no, Paige played here. Here, here, here. Isn't this Seki? Seki, but the corner is dead, is the point. Aha. Seki locally, but the white corner is dead, so black can kill that and then save her group finally. No ko. That's the way to win the biggest, for sure. If it were me playing, though, I would have found this. This is what I would see and live like this. I think that's kind of cool. Yes, you are right,
Whoa.
though. Seki instead of the ko, and then I expect Eric to now resign. Soon.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. What a game.
Wow, indeed.
It seemed like Paige took early initiative, but then Eric, like he often does, found a way in the middle game to swing things in his favor, but just one slight maybe overplay, slight inaccuracy for Eric, as you were pointing out. Seems like was what spiraled the game back for Paige here.
Yeah. We have Eric trying to make a crazy ko, which Paige saw in advance, of course. And there's no ko. There's no crazy ko. There is no way that White is going to win a capture race in this area.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but Paige was literally like dancing as the game was going on at the beginning, clearly listening to some music or something, just vibing.
Vibing is a good strat, I have to say. All right, so we have finally here an interesting final thing. When White captures here, Black is planning to eat this. Then this move does come in Sente. Black will have to answer. That does technically make a ko, but actually Black captures the cutting stones. These stones are saved as long as Black captures those, so it's all over. I didn't realize. I bet Eric also did not realize that these stones connect back like that. Is the game over? I would expect a resignation at that moment. Yes, the game has just ended. Eric has just resigned.
Wow, GG's.